Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to the Bearded Gamer channel and welcome to the next section of Everything Star Wars, where we discuss every news out there, anything possible that's going to happen in the Star Wars world or anything Star Wars related. And tonight we're going to be discussing a little bit of why Anakin Skywalker turned to the dark side. If you're just like me, you're probably wondering why in the hell Anakin Skywalker turned to the dark side. How this little kid
Now this is pod racing.
turned into this Jedi Padawan learner.
It's all Obi-Wan's fault.
And how did Padawan learner turn into a full Jedi Knight? Yes, how did little Annie from Tatooine turn into this three awesome Jedi heroes, right? And ended up being one of the biggest badass evil guys that I met throughout the Star Wars world, better known as Darth Vader.
This is where the fun begins.
I think one of the first things we need to understand about Anakin Skywalker is about his past. Where does he come from and what the hell happened in his childhood? So Anakin Skywalker comes from a little planet called Tatooine. Now in Tatooine, basically Anakin Skywalker and his mom got sold into slavery because Shmi Skywalker was actually betting on pod racing. And unfortunately they got sold into slavery because they couldn't even pay the debt. Now, being a slave, it's something that is going to be haunting young Anakin Skywalker throughout his Jedi training as a Jedi Knight and also as Darth Vader.
You're a slave? I'm a person and my name is Anakin.
So, one thing to keep in mind when Anakin was going through his Jedi training, he was actually being bullied. Now, I know he got free by Qui-Gon Jinn on Tatooine. He got into the Jedi Order. Unfortunately, Qui-Gon Jinn dies through the Phantom Menace. Then Obi-Wan takes the mantle of the trainer or the master to train young Anakin Skywalker. But while he was going to training, he was being bullied because he, first of all, came in a little bit old. As you may know, people who start training as a Jedi, they just come in as babies or infants. Now that Anakin Skywalker, they got into the Jedi Order, he was older than 10 years old. So he already had something called attachment. Now that we have discussed one of the first things that actually took Anakin Skywalker to go to the dark side, is just number one, slavery. Number two for me will be the Jedi Order. Yes, you heard me right. The Jedi Order is guilty as hell. So one thing to understand, when Anakin Skywalker comes into the picture of the Star Wars world, the Jedi Order was kind of in a way in decline. And in decline, I mean there were a few Jedis that already left the Order, aka also we have Count Dooku leaving the Order. And basically they were really cocky in a certain way. They're already really almighty and powerful. They have not been in a war in more than 1,000 years. They are peacekeepers of the Republic. There's nothing going on apart from the 1 or 2 missions that they get there. And we can see it here very vividly with Count Dooku referring to the Jedi Order. We can see here the Jedi Order's problem is Yoda. No being can wield that kind of power for centuries without becoming complacent at best or corrupt at worst. He has no idea that it's overtaking him. He no longer sees all the little cumulative evils that the Republic tolerates and fosters, from slavery to endless wars, and he never asks, why are we not acting to stop this? Live alongside corruption for too long and you no longer notice the stench. The Jedi cannot help the slaves on Tatooine, but they can help the slave masters. Dooku, Yoda's former Padawan to Darth Sidious. Now this is something that also is going to be seen throughout the Clone Wars. Anakin Skywalker is really mad with the Jedi Order. He wants to help everyone. He wants to free every planet that he can. He wants to stop the Clone War. He wants to win it. He wants to create peace and prosperity throughout the galaxy, but the Jedi Order are always holding him down.
Now this is pod racing.
What makes you think that?
It's a perfect example of why the Jedi Order are slacking in everything. You'll see it basically in the Phantom Menace. Qui-Gon Jinn goes visit Anakin Skywalker into the house. They give him food. They give him shelter from the sandstorm and whatnot. And Anakin plainly asking, "Are you here to free slaves? Are you here to free us?" And Qui-Gon is like, "No,
Have
dude,
you come
sorry.
free us?
My ship got stranded." Not only the Jedi Order was neglecting everything that was going on through the whole galaxy, but they also put a lot of pressure on Anakin. They were telling Anakin Skywalker since day one, you are not the chosen one, or you were the chosen one, or you are the chosen one, depending on the situation, right? But since day one, they were giving him a lot of crap and they didn't want to train him.
You refer to the prophecy of the one who will bring balance to the Force. You believe it's this boy?
Another thing that led Anakin Skywalker to the dark side is basically his attachments. Anakin Skywalker grew up in Tatooine. He's already attached to his mom. He got into the Jedi Order a little bit later than usual, right? A little bit, almost getting there in his teen years. And unfortunately, the Jedi Order were very close-minded, very conservative. They didn't want to change the way they were doing things. They didn't take that into consideration when they were training Anakin. There's something called remediation and flex training. No, they didn't believe in that. It was like, you come here, you do things like we are, and voila, you're becoming a Jedi. Now imagine yourself, you're in first grade, and out of nowhere, someone from high school joins to your classroom. You're like, what the hell are you doing here? And you have to behave like like someone from first grade. That's basically what happened to Anakin Skywalker. Now let's talk about attachments and Anakin's attachments to his friends, especially Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ahsoka Tano, and Padme Amidala. Obi-Wan's relationship with Anakin started changing when he was a Jedi Padawan and also to a Jedi Knight. The relationship became almost instantly as brothers, best friends, and also master and apprentice relationship. That was really important in the Jedi Order. Anakin saw Obi-Wan as a big brother and will do anything for him. Next one in our list is Ahsoka Tano, which is basically Anakin Skywalker's Padawan learner. Padawan learner given to him by Yoda in a way to create some independence to Anakin when he becomes a Jedi Master. Basically, he was creating too much attachments with everybody, and Anakin was not ready to let go of anyone, not even his Padawan, when the Padawan learner becomes a Jedi Knight and be moving on forward. Now, this is for Anakin like a little sister, and he was very protective of Ahsoka Tano. And lastly, we have Padme Amidala, which later on becomes Anakin Skywalker's wife. Anakin has been in love with her since their first meeting on Tatooine. He was madly in love with her, very nervous on Attack on the Clones when he was going to meet her. But you know what? He grew up confident and later on got married. And basically, this is one of the last persons that will create the biggest attachments to Anakin, because later on, Padme Amidala will have kids, will be pregnant with Anakin's children. Unknowingly, they were going to have twins, Luke and Leia, and Anakin will do anything to protect their family. And also, we have to discuss someone that we haven't even mentioned since we got to this part, right? It's actually Shmi Skywalker. Shmi Skywalker is Anakin's mom. He left the Jedi Order to train as a Jedi. He left her behind in Tatooine, and he didn't know anything because he couldn't get attached to anyone. So Anakin was starting to have visions that her mom was going to die, and Anakin was freaking out. He was trying to save her, to protect her, to go back to Tatooine to go to his mom. And the Jedi Order basically shut him down. They don't want him to go back to Tatooine. They want him to focus on his Jedi training and also on his mission. Until one day, Anakin couldn't hold any longer, and he went to Tatooine, and his mom basically got captured by Tusken Raiders. And unfortunately, she was tortured and later died in Anakin's arm. This is the beginning of the Anakin's dark side path.
They're dead. Every single one of them. And not just the men, but the women and the children too.
You're starting to see a pattern, right? When Anakin's moms died, shortly we'll have the Battle of Geonosis, and thus starting the famous Clone Wars. As you know, nothing good comes out of war. We see Anakin throughout the Clone Wars going through some changes, getting really frustrated with the Jedi Order as well. His attachments growing more and more as the war goes. And Anakin's getting more and more frustrated with the Jedi Order and with the war itself as well. During the Clone Wars, Ahsoka Tano gets charged with murder and she flees. Anakin Skywalker was doing everything in his powers to prove Ahsoka Tano's innocence, while the Jedi Order was doing everything in their power to actually prove that Ahsoka was guilty. At the end, Anakin was able to prove that Ahsoka was innocent, but however, the damage was already done. Anakin got destroyed by the decision that the Jedi Order was doing of actually proving one of their own, a Jedi Padawan, Anakin's Padawan, that she was guilty. Anakin was able to prove that she was innocent. Ahsoka Tano was so distraught, so frustrated with the Jedi Order that she decides to leave. This is something that hits Anakin Skywalker so hard because once again he has attachments. An attachment to Snips, like how he used to call her. Her little sister, her Padawan. He basically felt that he let her down. Here's some instances that you will see throughout the Clone Wars that Anakin is starting to go a little bit more into the dark side.
I'm sure you'll find a suitable replacement.
As for you, Stubby, you'd make a poor excuse for a light switch. Where's the antidote, Vindy? Time for caution. My Padawan is trapped down there, and so is Padme.
I wish I could give you the disc, but I have a lot of faith in your survival skills.
Told you we shouldn't give up on them.
It's not that I gave up, Skywalker, but unlike you, when the time comes, I am prepared to let my student go.
I don't need mind tricks to get you to talk.
I will never talk, Jedi.
We'll see about that, Poggle.
Who will strike first and brand themselves a cold-blooded killer?
The Force is strong with you.
Anakin, please!
You were my brother, Anakin!
Powerful Sith you will be.
I hate you! You should have listened to them. My friends. Where are they?
Believe you can stop this plot against me? I trust you.
Thank you, Chancellor. You won't regret this.
No, I won't.
Now we're going to see one of the last things that is going to trigger Anakin to actually go full dark side of the Force.
You die in childbirth.
And the baby?
I don't know.
It was only a dream.
I won't let this one become real.
Now Anakin is trying to do everything that he can in his powers to actually save his life. And he tried to turn to one of his friends and confidant, basically the Chancellor. However, the Chancellor, is a Sith Lord. He's manipulating Anakin since the beginning. And he knows kind of what's going on with the visions and whatnot. And he starts throwing up hints on how to actually save Padme, but he cannot do it.
Is it possible to learn this power?
Not from a Jedi.
Not from the Jedi, you manipulator! And the rest is kind of history. We have Anakin Skywalker stopping Mace Windu of actually killing Emperor Palpatine. I mean, in this case, Chancellor Palpatine before the Empire is conducted. Emperor Palpatine executes Order 66, then becomes the Jedi Purge. And Anakin, it's no longer Anakin. He pledged himself to the Sith and thus rise himself as Darth Vader. Then we all know about the big fight of Obi-Wan and Anakin in half. Obi-Wan chops Anakin in half, losing both his arms and his legs, and then he becomes the full mechanic monster that we know of the actual Darth Vader with the respirator asthmatic issue that we see in the other movies. Padme's dead. He killed her unintentionally with his rage. And then we have the real Darth Vader. Now we can see here that Anakin not only turned to the dark side just because his wife died. It's been a list of ongoing situations. It's been the Jedi Order. It's been his past as a slave. It has been his wife passing away. It has been his friends, his attachments. It's been a lot of things, and it will make anyone flip. Go ahead and start. I'm not saying like killing people and chopping younglings will be okay, but he's been through a lot and he just flips, and then you have someone giving you the hand like Emperor Palpatine did. I'll teach you the powers to protect your wife or blah blah blah. I'm just paraphrasing, that's not what he says, but basically, these are my opinions on how Anakin, or why Anakin turned to the dark side and becomes Darth Vader. If you did really like the content, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. There's more videos coming up for everything Star Wars here at the Bearded Gamer channel. This is the Bearded Gamer once again. Thank you all so much for watching. God bless, stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time. And remember, may the Force be with you always.
Now this is pod racing.